I'm Ruth.
And I'm Darren.
Of the Rad Adventures Network, and this is Amazing Adventures.
Welcome to Amazing Adventures, where we talk about some of our favorite TV shows, movies, books, and comics.
The episodes in this series are short summary-level discussions where we tell you what a title is about, who the main characters are, where it is set, when it was released, why we like it, and how we first discovered it.
Adventure stories are a favorite genre of ours, and over the course of this show, we hope to talk about some of our all-time favorite characters, films, books, and TV shows.
Today, we're talking about The Princess Bride, which is my all-time favorite movie.
As the grandfather says in the movie, it features fencing, fighting, torture, revenge, giants, monsters, chases, escapes, true love, miracles, and more. And as the grandson replies, it doesn't sound too bad. And we're sure you will all agree as we talk about this classic satire of fairy tales.
Amazing Adventures is part of the Rad Adventures Network.
If you enjoy the show, please consider checking out our other podcasts that are available from Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube.
Trekker Talk is a fan podcast devoted to the adventures of 23rd century bounty hunter Mercy St. Clair from the pages of the sci-fi comic Trekker by writer and artist Ron Randall.
Warlord Worlds is a fan podcast devoted to the comic creations of writer and artist Mike Grell, including The Warlord, Jon Sable, and Green Arrow.
And Xenozoic Xenophiles covers the series Xenozoic Tales by writer and artist Mark Schultz, featuring Cadillacs and dinosaurs.
But now it's time to talk about some amazing adventures, right after this promo from another podcast you may enjoy.
In 1975, Jaws was released. It is routinely regarded as one of the greatest films of all time, and is generally credited with creating the concept of the summer blockbuster. In 1978, in an obvious cash grab, Jaws 2 was released, failing to have lightning strike a second time, but presenting a generally enjoyable film. In 1983, Jaws 3D was released, shamelessly attempting to take advantage of a gullible audience. By 1987, there was no pretense of quality as Lorraine Gary and Michael Caine cashed paychecks for sleepwalking through a pointless and incredulous sequel. In 2016, Paul Spatero created Is It Jaws?, in which he and a group of rotating guest hosts discuss new and old movies and place them up against the Jaws scale, which ignores some elements of the actual films and sets forth a rating scale. Jaws, an all-time great classic film. Jaws 2, an enjoyable film with some flaws but worthy of multiple viewings. Jaws 3, a moderately enjoyable film. And finally, Jaws 4, a bad movie. Please join Paul and his guests as they ask the ever-important question, is it Jaws?
The Princess Bride is my favorite film, and I thought it would be fun to dive into a discussion of this amazing adventure, which is filled with heroics and true love.
This movie has a perfect balance of humor, adventure, romance, and fantasy. It's a comedy and an adventure, and as lifelong fans of the Rocky and Bullwinkle show, we like to consider it a fractured fairy tale.
I have been a fan of the movie since it was first released in 1987 when we saw it in the cinema while we were dating. And since then, I have seen it countless times over the years, at home and on the big screen. It's a comfort movie for me, one of those films I'll watch when I want to laugh or when I'm homesick, kind of like the boy whose grandfather reads him the book when he's homesick.
We especially love seeing the movie on the big screen with a live audience, who laugh, cheer, boo, and jeer at all the right times. We've been fortunate to attend several of these special screenings over the years, including
outdoors at a stone amphitheater surrounded by a rose garden,
a quote-along screening at the Alamo Drafthouse,
a screening at the Raleigh Performing Arts Center that was hosted by star Cary Elwes and included a live Q&A session after the movie,
a screening at the local Museum of Natural Sciences.
And we've even sponsored screenings of the movie at the nearby historic Carolina Theater for the Retro Film Series, with an audience who cheered when the characters first appeared and joined in on the famous lines.
Of course, we're talking primarily about the Princess Bride movie from 1987, But before it was a movie, it was a book, written by William Goldman and published in 1973.
I've read the book several times and think it is a treasure. While William Goldman wrote the book, he sets it up as if he has done an abridgment of an older book by an author named S. Morgenstern, and William Goldman refers to his supposed abridged version of this older book as the Good Parts version.
So the book is a story within a story, and in the book, he says his dad used to read it to him, and he inserts his own comments and side notes along with memories of how his father would read the book to him, just like in the movie.
It's a clever commentary on how we read, remember, and pass down tales.
William Goldman was a well-known novelist and screenwriter who wrote many other popular films, including The Stepford Wives, Misery, Maverick, and Marathon Man, and he won Academy Awards for Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid and All the President's Men.
And he wrote the wonderful screen adaptation of his own Princess Bride book for the movie. I highly recommend reading the book or listening to the audiobook version, which is read by director Rob Reiner.
The book and movie tell the story of Buttercup, who is a beautiful young woman living on a farm in the country of Florin, and Wesley is the handsome farm boy who loves her. Wesley departs to seek his fortune, but his ship is attacked by the dread pirate Roberts, and word comes back that he is dead, leaving Buttercup heartbroken.
Prince Humperdinck, who is a vain and manipulative leader, chooses Buttercup to be his bride, and she must reluctantly agree to his royal request. However, before the wedding, she is kidnapped by a trio of mercenaries, the Sicilian Vizzini, the gentle giant Fezzik, and the swordsman Inigo Montoya.
As they travel to the country of Gilder, which is the sworn enemy of Florin, a mysterious man in black pursues them, who reveals himself to be none other than Wesley, who is alive and determined to reclaim his true love, Buttercup. It is inconceivable that the movie is filled with so many memorable and quotable lines, which is why it is so much fun to see it with an audience.
Vizzini's frequent incorrect use of the word inconceivable leads Inigo Montoya to reply, "You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means."
Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Life is pain, Highness. Anyone who says differently is selling something.
I do not think you would accept my help, since I'm only waiting around to kill you.
You mean you'll put down your rock, and I'll put down my sword, and we try to kill each other like civilized people?
We are men of action. Lies do not become us.
There's not a lot of money in revenge.
Your friend here is only mostly dead.
You've been mostly dead all day.
Have fun storming the castle.
And we understand that if you happen to see Billy Crystal, that he'll give you an autograph if you say that line of dialogue.
And the wonderful line, "As you wish," that is so important to the movie.
And so many more that I'm sure everyone listening to this has thought of others we didn't include.
The film is wonderfully directed by Rob Reiner, but it might have never happened without producer Norman Lear, who helped finance it and then gave Rob Reiner full creative control. The two had known each other since the early 1970s, when Rob Reiner was one of the stars of Norman Lear's TV series All in the Family, before Rob Reiner turned to directing films like This Is Spinal Tap, Stand By Me, When Harry Met Sally, and A Few Good Men.
Rob Reiner was already a fan of the book and knew how to perfectly balance the adventure, fantasy, romance, and satire in the story. His goal was to create a movie that people would watch with their kids and then again with their grandkids, and he clearly succeeded with this wonderful film.
One of the biggest reasons The Princess Bride still works so perfectly is the amazing cast. Every single actor fits their role so well that it's hard to imagine anyone else ever playing these characters.
The movie opens and closes with Peter Falk and Fred Savage, and they bring such warmth and sincerity to their scenes. Peter Falk plays the grandfather who is reading the book to his grandson, played by Fred Savage.
This framing sequence is so important to getting the tone of the movie correct. Peter Falk's warm and cozy, yet occasionally gruff narration gives the film its timeless feel, while Fred Savage perfectly captures the skeptical young boy who is initially wary of hearing a fairy tale before falling under the story's magical influence.
You really believe the connection between the grandfather and grandson, and I love when the grandfather says, "As you wish," at the end of the movie. It's touching and warms my heart every time because it conveys so much about love and the power of storytelling.
Cary Elwes is dashing and witty and perfectly embodies Wesley, our hero, with a mix of charm, sincerity, and confidence as he delivers his lines with a self-aware twinkle in his eyes. Fans know him from Robin Hood Men in Tights, Hot Shots, Twister, Shadow of the Vampire, Stranger Things, Psych, and more.
Robin Wright brings beauty, strength, and quiet dignity to the role of Buttercup. While the character seems to be the traditional damsel in distress, her performance provides emotional depth and makes the character a believable woman caught in an impossible situation. Fans know her from Forrest Gump, House of Cards, Wonder Woman, and Blade Runner 2049.
Mandy Patinkin's background is in theater and on Broadway, but he achieved pop culture immortality as Inigo Montoya, and fans always cheer when he avenges his father at the end of the film. Fans know him from Homeland, Chicago Hope, Alien Nation, and Dead Like Me.
At 7 feet 4 inches tall and weighing over 500 pounds, Andre the Giant was a legend in the wrestling world, but his gentle yet intimidating performance as Fezzik would become the thing he is most remembered for, and the thing he most loved, as he would show the movie to anyone who visited his home. Sadly, he passed away in 1993, before the movie was recognized as the cultural phenomenon it is today.
Wallace Shawn is perfect as the self-proclaimed genius Vizzini, who isn't nearly as smart as he thinks he is. Wallace Shawn delivers every line with manic confidence and comic precision. Fans know him from Clueless, Young Sheldon, Gossip Girl, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and as the voice of Rex in the Toy Story movies.
Chris Sarandon makes Prince Humperdinck the kind of villain you love to hate, with his performance of a pompous noble who is charming on the surface but manipulative underneath. Fans know him from Fright Night and as the voice of Jack Skellington in The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Christopher Guest plays the evil six-fingered Count Rugen, with an understated calm yet creepy cruelty that makes the character unforgettable. Fans know him from This Is Spinal Tap and Waiting for Guffman. And in a bit of trivia, Christopher Guest kept the six-fingered glove and sword from the film and displays them at his house, and his son would always proudly show them to friends who visited their home.
Billy Crystal and Carol Kane are absolutely delightful as Miracle Max and Valerie. Billy Crystal has said that Miracle Max is his favorite role of all time, and Carol Kane matches his frenetic energy as his sharp-tongued wife. The two improvised much of their sequence, and Billy Crystal made the rest of the cast laugh so much that they had difficulty completing those scenes.
The movie also features small cameos by well-known British comedians Mel Smith as the albino and Peter Cook as the clergyman. Mel Smith was known for the series Not the 9 O'Clock News with Rowan Atkinson, as well as the series Alias Smith & Jones, and he co-founded the British television production company Talkback. Peter Cook and Dudley Moore were a hugely successful comedy duo in the UK during the 1960s and 1970s. They starred in the popular comedy series Not Only, But Also, and appeared in several movies together.
It is wonderful to hear the cast reminisce about the movie in interviews and at conventions. It is clear the whole cast enjoyed working together and remained friends. They have genuine affection for each other, and I believe that sense of friendship comes through in their performances in the movie.
We've talked about the excellent script and wonderful cast, but we also have to talk about the perfect atmosphere created through the amazing sets and stunning locations in the movie, because everything really feels like it's straight out of a fairy tale. The movie was filmed across the UK and Ireland. One of the most recognizable spots is Haddon Hall, which is used for Prince Humperdinck's castle. It's a medieval manor that adds a significant amount of authenticity.
And we have to talk about the Cliffs of Insanity. Those dramatic shots were filmed on the western coast of Ireland, and they look absolutely breathtaking. You can practically feel the wind whipping across the cliffs as Wesley climbs after Vizzini, Fezzik, and Inigo Montoya. I hope to visit there someday.
Then there's the Fire Swamp, which is an imaginatively designed set that is so memorable and a fun contrast to the lush outdoor scenes. It's dark and dangerous and known for flame spurts, lightning sand, and rodents of unusual size.
The Princess Bride is an adventure, and one of the best sequences in the movie is when Wesley, in disguise as the Dread Pirate Roberts, defeats the trio of kidnappers one by one in a series of duels using skill, strength, and wits.
Each showdown feels very different. The test of strength against Fezzik is fun, and Andre the Giant plays the part with naive sincerity, as he truly wants to have a fair fight. As Wesley stares up at his enormous 7-foot 4-inch frame, Fezzik says, "It's not my fault being the biggest and the strongest. I don't even exercise." And the battle of wits with Vizzini is hilarious as he talks himself in circles using his quote-unquote imagined genius. He says, "I can't compete with you physically, and you're no match for my brains," as he refers to Plato, Aristotle, and Socrates as morons.
And we have to go into a little more depth for the sword battle against Inigo Montoya. This is absolutely the best sword fight in movie history in my opinion, with its brilliant choreography and mix of action and humor. It is clever, fast, and surprisingly funny, and I especially love the twist where they both start fighting left-handed, only for both to reveal in the middle of the fight that I am not left-handed, as they make a surprising switch to fighting right-handed.
To fully appreciate this sequence, it is important to know the dedication behind the scenes. Cary Elwes and Mandy Patinkin trained 8 to 10 hours a day for months with legendary British stuntmen Peter Diamond and Bob Anderson. Peter Diamond is best known for training both Errol Flynn and Burt Lancaster to use the sword in their mini swashbucklers, and he also was the stunt coordinator for films such as the original Star Wars trilogy, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Highlander. Meanwhile, Bob Anderson was the double for Darth Vader actor David Prowse during the lightsaber duels in The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So, when you watch that duel on the Cliffs of Insanity, you're seeing the result of pure dedication and craftsmanship from 2 actors trained by 2 legendary swordmasters.
The soundtrack for The Princess Bride is another wonderful part of the movie.
It was composed by Mark Knopfler of the group Dire Straits, who is Scottish and had already proven his talent for soundtracks on the movie Local Hero, which is directed by Bill Forsyth and is another favorite film of ours.
Director Rob Reiner specifically asked for music that was quirky but romantic, and Knopfler delivered, with music that perfectly matches the film's blend of fantasy, adventure, charm, and humor, with a mix of gentle guitars and whimsical melodies.
The minimalist style of the soundtrack is enchanting and emphasizes the intimacy and emotion of the movie, joining together with the script, cast, crew, and locations to create this charming and genuinely unique movie.
The film's wistful and romantic theme song, Storybook Love, from the soundtrack was even nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Song.
It's a truly excellent soundtrack.
There was a Princess Bride reunion in 2012 for the 25th anniversary, and the actors and director got together for a special screening of the film. Cary Elwes had such a great time reminiscing that he decided to write a book that was published in 2014 and is titled, As You Wish, Inconceivable Tales from the Making of the Princess Bride.
The book is full of his own first-hand stories, including learning the intricate sword fight choreography with Mandy Patinkin. His love of the movie and his affection for his co-stars and the crew really shines through in the book. In addition, many others involved in the film contribute segments as well, illustrating their shared love of this classic film.
I love the book itself, but I love the audiobook version even more. Cary Elwes reads most of the audiobook, but many others, including Robin Wright, Rob Reiner, Wallace Shawn, Billy Crystal, and Carol Kane, read sections they contributed to the book. It's really delightful and makes the listener feel like they're joining in on a reunion with the cast.
It is an amazing book, and if you want to learn more about The Princess Bride, then we highly recommend it. It's wonderful.
Cary Elwes wanted to let fans know about his book, so he decided to attend some conventions, and I've been very fortunate to see him at a few conventions over the last 10 years. He is always charming and gracious and really seems to appreciate his fans, and I got to have a lovely chat and get an autograph and a wonderful photo with him that first time I met him.
The first time we saw him, he was the only Princess Bride guest at that convention. However, that 25th anniversary reunion and participating in his book led several other members of the cast to begin making convention appearances as well, and thanks to that, we've been able to meet many of the cast members over the last several years.
The next time we saw Cary Elwes, both Chris Sarandon and Wallace Shawn were also at the event, and it was terrific to chat with them and get their autographs. And I was able to get a fantastic photo with Wesley, Prince Humperdinck, and Vizzini all together. And then the next time we saw Cary Elwes at a convention, Robin Wright was with him, so I was able to get an amazing photo with Wesley and Buttercup. It was a dream come true.
Robin Wright rarely makes convention appearances, and we made quite a journey for that opportunity, and it was worth it in every way to see how happy Ruth was to get her autograph and that photo op. Not surprisingly, a massive number of other fans also showed up to see Robin Wright, and Ruth was in her autograph line for several hours, but it was definitely worth the wait.
We're also fans of Star Trek, and Carol Kane is a regular in the series Strange New Worlds. She made her first ever convention appearance at the large annual Star Trek convention in Las Vegas in 2024, and that gave me the opportunity to get her autograph and a photo op.
And while we've never seen him at a convention, we were able to see Mandy Patinkin in concert a few years ago, and it was a wonderful show.
And then after the show, I waited patiently with a few other fans at the stage door, and he eventually came outside to thank us all and sign autographs, and Darren snapped a photo of me while I was talking with him. It was fabulous.
And just this year, Cary Elwes was at our local Performing Arts Center for a screening of The Princess Bride, followed by a live Q&A. And for the first time ever, Ruth graciously let me join her for a photo with him, while in the past all of the photo ops were just with her. That made me feel so special.
Hey, you are special, and you know you could have always been in those other photo ops.
Yes, I'm just joking, and I do know I could have always been in the photo ops because you always invited me to be in them. But the truth is that it just brings me extreme joy to watch you while you're getting those photo ops and to see the photos afterwards, because you always have the biggest and happiest smiles ever in those photos.
Aw, thank you. You're so sweet. We don't have a lot of Princess Bride memorabilia, but we do have a few items that I love, including a great map of the world of the Princess Bride that I have hanging on the wall. We also have a limited edition frame photo that includes an original piece of the film from the movie.
We also have the Funko Pop figures from the movie and a few board games that are terrific fun to play, including the Adventure Book game, Prepare to Die, Storming the Castle, and A Battle of Wits. They're all fun.
I also have several lovely items that have been gifts from friends like Austin, Brian, and Paul, including t-shirts, socks, and a Precious Memories figure of the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Those who listen to our podcast know that we're very fortunate to know a few wonderful comic creators, and we've been very lucky to get Princess Bride-themed commissions from them over the years.
We have an amazingly detailed pencil sketch of Wesley and Buttercup by Mike Grell, and a lovely watercolor painting of Wesley, Buttercup, Fezzik, and Inigo Montoya by Ron Randall. We also have a gorgeous full-color movie poster commissioned by Warren Montgomery, and Jared Albrecht, the yard sale artist, did a series of Princess Bride book page sketches for us featuring all of the main characters, including Wesley, Buttercup, Fezzik, and Inigo Montoya, as well as minor characters such as the albino, the clergyman, and Yellen, the keeper of the keys.
We'll be sure to share those images in our social media posts for this episode for anyone who's interested in seeing them.
As we begin to wrap up, I'll mention that we were lucky to see a fantasy film exhibit at the Museum of Pop Culture in Seattle that featured Wesley's costume and sword from the movie.
We've also been lucky to be guests on a few podcasts with friends, including talking about the movie with Paul Spataro on his podcast Is It Jaws, and talking with Randy Andrews about the music on Soundtrack Alley.
We've also been lucky to visit the amazing Pals Books in Portland, where they have the Gilder Cafe, which used to feature decorations from the movie, and items on the menu were even named after characters and quotes from the film.
Unfortunately, on our most recent trip to Portland, we noticed that it is still called the Gilder Cafe, but sadly all of the decorations were gone, and the menu has been changed to remove film references.
In summary, I just want to say that The Princess Bride is one of those rare books and movies that really transcends genres and generations. It blends adventure, fantasy, comedy, parody in a way that is enjoyed by fans of all ages.
It's a timeless classic that surprisingly was initially a flop at the box office, only to become a classic that is rediscovered by each new generation.
If you haven't seen the movie, I encourage you to watch it and try to see it with an audience if you can.
And if you're already a fan of the movie but haven't read the book, then we encourage you to give the original book a try.
And if you're already a fan of the movie and the book, then we recommend Cary Elwes' book, As You Wish, to learn even more about the movie.
And if you already love it all, like us, then thank you for listening to our thoughts. We sincerely hope you enjoyed hearing us share our memories.
Thank you so much for listening, and we'll be right back with our wrap-up and contact information.
Hey, Jared, I have this idea for a new show for the network.
What is it?
You know how I liked the 1990s comic book series, The New Warriors?
Yes. Yep.
And you know how at the Long Box Crusade we're trying to get the YouTube channel going?
Yes. Also correct.
Well, thanks. So, how about you and me do a live stream show about the New Warriors? You've never read the books before, and I have them, and so that's a great setup. We could give it a catchy name like Come Out to Play. Don't you think that's the greatest idea?
Sure, Delvin. That's a great idea. Just one question.
Yeah?
Why do you have me dangling off this ledge, holding me by only one arm?
Oh, yeah. Well, you'll get it soon. I hope. Come Out to Play, a New Warriors podcast, comes to you live on YouTube every second Tuesday of the month at 8 p.m. Eastern on the Long Box Crusade channel. If you can't watch it there, we replay them on the Long Box Crusade Network podcast feed, available anywhere podcasts can be found. We invite you to come along for the ride, or in other words, New Warriors, come out to play.
Before we go, we want to provide our contact information.
You can write to us directly at radadventuresnetwork@gmail.com or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky under the name Rad Adventures Network.
That's RAD, R-A-D, which is short for Ruth and Darren.
You can listen to the show through Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and most other podcast apps.
You can even find the show on YouTube under Rad Adventures Network.
And you can always visit radadventuresnetwork.com, where you'll find all of the episodes of all of our podcasts, including our main shows, Trekker Talk, Warlord Worlds, and Xenozoic Xenophiles, as well as our other podcasts, including Sensational Sleuths and Fantastic Fantasies.
If you like the show, please consider leaving a review. While you won't find a specific place to review Amazing Adventures, we hope you'll leave a review under Rad Adventures Network. Every review helps the podcast be more likely to show up in search results.
And on YouTube, we hope you'll subscribe to the channel and give us some likes on the videos.
Thank you so much for listening, and we hope you'll come back next time for another new episode of Amazing Adventures.
Rad Adventures Network is a podcast for fans and by fans.
The theme music is Animated Adventure Theme and is licensed from pond5.com.
We make no money from this podcast, and no copyright infringement is intended.